Hey guys, Joe Tarnowski here with ECRM, and I have with me Pamela Hayward, the founder of SOS Life Sciences, and we're going to talk about her experience with the recent efficient supplier introduction program that she attended, which was the diabetes one. So, Pamela, thank you for joining me.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity.
And just to let you know, I watched your video presentation that you gave, and it was awesome. So, I'm looking forward to. We'll get into the conversation about that presentation in a little bit. But I guess to start off with, can you give us an overview of your company?
Yes. So I'm a mom of four children, and my two daughters in the background have type 1 diabetes. And I noticed that the girls would turn to juice and candy to treat their low blood sugars because they didn't really like glucose tabs. And that's a different sugar. That's fructose and sucrose. So it delays bringing their blood sugar up. And the end result is they would spike their blood sugar, and then they would be on that imbalanced blood sugar roller coaster ride the rest of the night. So in noticing this, and also just noticing traveling around and not having the portability they needed to carry low supplies with them, they say that invention is the mother of, or what is it? Invention is the mother of
I think
necessity.
necessity is
Necessity is the
the
mother
mother of invention.
of invention. Yes. So anyway, I thought about, like, I've seen my oldest daughter almost die multiple times from serious lows. So as a mom, I had to jump into action and find something to protect them that works really fast. So I thought about powder deliveries, and I reached out to a company in New York and developed the very first ever 100% natural glucose powder, and it's called Glucose SOS. And it is an instant dissolve glucose powder, and it is in a little packet that's about the size of a business card. Comes in 4 great flavors, and you tap the powder in your mouth, and the second it hits your saliva, it dissolves and it's absorbed in the buccal mucosa and goes directly into the bloodstream. And because it is in a pre-measured and very calculated amount for treating the condition, it alleviates blood sugar spiking. So, these little packets are, perfect to, put in your wallet, pocket, purse, gym bag, wherever you want to go. It's in a nice foil packaging. So we've actually going to be doing business in South America, and they need stage 5 stability testing. So it's very stable. So as a mom, I know my girls can be prepared, so I can rest assured that they're going to be safe when they're not around me.
That's great. I mean, what better reason to develop a product than your kids?
Yes, yes.
So, speaking of necessity being the mother of invention, that's why for those people out there who are not familiar with ECRM's efficient supplier introductions, or ESIs like we call them, obviously because nobody can travel right now, and we've had to postpone a lot of our in-person programs, we created these ESIs as a way for buyers to still be able to source and find these products from the comfort of their homes or offices, and with a minimum time investment, because everything is crazy right now on the buyer side. So and the one that we created, for Pamela, that Pamela attended, was the diabetes one. So, Pamela, why did you decide? What drove your decision to participate?
I've often participated in ECRM meetings, and I've traveled quite a bit meeting with buyers. So I'm out, literally in 4 airports every day. As a single mom, I'd like to be home every night. So I'm pretty much there at 2 in the morning and get home at midnight. So the opportunity to be able to have a virtual meeting and reach, 25 or so buyers was a great opportunity for me, for many, many reasons. Financially, for convenience. It's something I really love to do. I love to present and introduce my product. And it's also great because at the end of the day, after you have your presentation, you're able to, receive the buyer's contact information, and you can start your own dialogue with them via email or through messaging on RangeMe, whichever you prefer. And it was just a great opportunity for me.
Excellent. And like I said, you did a great job on your presentation, and you've also attended our in-person sessions in the past too, correct?
I have. Those were the single meetings where I'd fly to, Providence, and you have 20 minutes to meet with the buyers, and then, fly back that day, which is great. But the virtual meetings at this point in time, I really believe, because of the times of what we're going through right now, there's a lot of ways we're going to change doing business to make it give people more opportunities to participate. It gives everyone an opportunity, especially small businesses like me, to have that same opportunity and get my brand out there, brand awareness.
Yep, and I agree. And especially these days, what we're seeing is, the in-person meetings are not going to go away. Those are, in-person is still the strongest way to build those relationships, but time and circumstances might necessitate a virtual connection. So, and that's where these fill in. So like down the road, I see kind of both working together, filling in the gaps with these. And, hopefully we won't experience a pandemic like this again, but at least now we know that, we have something to offer that will help you guys still stay connected with the buyers in the event that something like this happens again. So
absolutely.
So tell me about your experience itself. Once you signed up, what was the process that you went through with our client success managers?
Very successful. The minute I signed up, I received an email, and basically just, and I received a phone call, had a phone conversation and an email that would let me know that we were going to have a practice session, before my meeting, which was going to be 10 minutes the next day. So that I immediately received an meeting invite for the next day. We discussed what time was convenient for me, and, logged on to the Zoom meeting and went through the different things that you can do with Zoom, like, make sure my audio is working, the video's working okay. We talked about setting up backgrounds, and at the time, I didn't realize you could set up a virtual background. So I really could have been anywhere in the world at that point in time. It's really fun to do that. Obviously, my girls are in the background, my two with type 1. But I set up my own background, and I really love that. And now that the virtual background is here, that is just perfect.
A lot more opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, so she made sure, or whoever the CSRM was, they made sure that you were all set up and ready to go, and they let you know all the details about the meeting, the length of time, how it's managed, and all of that. So now you get into the meeting itself. What was because like I mentioned, I want you to talk about why you did the presentation the way you did, because you made it really personal, which I thought was what made it so powerful. Can you talk about what the reasoning behind your pitch?
Yeah. My grandmother used to tell me, when you communicate, to always give someone the sandwich. So you start out with one slice of bread, then you get to the meat, and then you add the last slice of bread. So to me, I needed to discuss three things. I needed to introduce myself and my story and my girls, which is my why. And that usually captures people because it's a passionate approach to sharing product information. And then I get to the product, and I describe the benefits as compared to, my competition. And then you want to end your pitch with where you are in the market, because in doing these meetings, this is the information people want to know. And I'll tell you, I finished my presentation within 8 minutes. I can Zoom literally right through my meetings. I've done them so many times, and it was really great because Aaron stepped in when I opened up the floor for questions. Aaron stepped in and asked me a couple of questions. We had 2 minutes left, and I answered that, and I really appreciated that. And then she's like, time's up. And that was it. It's great. So,
And now you did a good job of structuring it to fit and leave time for Q&A, because what you don't want to do is just talk right until the end, and then, people get left hanging that if they have any questions. However, they can follow up with you afterwards. So afterwards, some people, you talk about the follow-up part.
yeah, well, I knew Sam's Club was on the meeting because that was the only attendee I could see. I didn't want to roam around and look. There's actually a button where you can see participants, but I didn't want to be like, who's here? And, but so I knew Sam's Club was on. And so the next morning I received 5 communications, and it was so powerful because it appeared to be like I was just presenting to myself, because all I could see was myself. And I received these communications back from the buyers that said, hey, I really enjoyed your presentation and I really like your product. And I was like, okay, good job, Pamela. That made me feel really happy. And then I started the dialogue literally with 5 of the buyers. And I can guarantee you by the end of the week, or at least I'll give them till next week, I will have communicated with every single buyer that was on that call.
That's great. That's great. And it seems the speed of it, is I think is what I found really cool, because you're not the first person I've heard this from where they're talking about, wow, it was immediate right after they got back to me. And then when you think about it, once the ESI is done, they're still there at their home. They can get right back to you. It's not like they have to travel back to their office or to their homes. They can just follow up right away with everybody, and they have your information. So that's great to hear. And it sounds like, from what you presented, I know there's going to be a lot of people interested, because it was a great presentation, the way you tailored it. So thanks for that input. So where do you see this virtual thing going? I mean, we're looking at launching more digital offerings that kind of mimic the one-on-one experience of our programs. What are your thoughts on, where digital is going, and meeting with buyers in that format?
Yeah, I would, the only thing that I would say that I missed with having all those buyers on the virtual meeting was having the one-on-one contact with them. You like to read people's, you can see if someone is interested, if they're not bored with your presentation. You can read their eyes and their facial expressions and everything. I missed seeing that one-on-one, but I think I would really like to even be able to do virtual meetings, just like the ones where, we pay $500 to go out and meet with CVS or Walgreens for 20 minutes. It's a win-win, because it becomes very personal. You can have a conversation through a video chat like this and be able to gauge their interest and talk to them on a personal level.
So having a combination of both these virtual opportunities and the face-to-face sounds like it would be a nice, a nice combination to have.
Absolutely. I think in life in general and in business, it's always good to have options. You've got small businesses. I still consider myself a small business, even though I have global distribution. I'm still climbing that mountain to success and building my brand, and it takes a lot of time and effort. So, being financially responsible after having bootstrapped this business for so long is something that I'm still doing and will be doing for the next year or so, or who knows. I'm in it for the long haul.
Mm-hmm.
So I like the opportunity because it gets me to where I want to be, which is in front of the buyer.
So what's next for SOS Life Science? What's coming down the pike?
Oh,
that you could talk about.
I can talk about it. I just am so ecstatic. I get tears in my eyes thinking about it. I didn't mention this before, invented a pet version of Glucose SOS for pets with diabetes. And again, that product is a very controlled approach to treating the condition in lieu of rubbing corn syrup on a dog's gum or cat's gum. So I set out to develop my third product extension, and it took a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally developed 3 really sexy flavors. I'm super pumped. And it's the very first ever freeze-dried glucose tab. And it's the same thing as my product. It absorbs, it dissolves upon contact with saliva, is absorbed through the buccal, and goes directly into the bloodstream. And the reason I am such a fanatic about that delivery is if you see someone have a low blood sugar and a seizure, they're near death.
Mhm.
And it's something you'll never get over. And people may think, well, a 30 seconds is not that big of a deal of a difference. Yes, it is. It saves life. It has to be fast. But I'm looking to launch this product in the fall or maybe the summer. And I'm really, really super excited about it.
Excellent. Well, I think we might actually have a pet ESI coming up as well. I'll find out for you. But that's great. No, I loved your story. I'm so glad that everything worked out well for you, and really thank you for sharing all those insights with us.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you for the opportunity because, with the times being the way that they are, for the first 2 weeks, I believe when we were all quarantined, no one knew what to do.
Hmm.
And I don't like not having anything to do. I like to continually, expose my brand to different people and sell. That is in my blood. I like to work. So when I couldn't do that, I was beside myself. So when I found out about this opportunity, I'm like, heck yeah, I actually looked forward. It was Monday. My meeting was on Tuesday. It was like Christmas. I was so excited about that meeting on Tuesday, and it was refreshing to get back in the saddle again.
That's great to hear. Well, you know what? Hopefully, you and I will get to meet face to face one of these days as well.
Yeah, I've been to New York a few times. I was in Syracuse, New York, when I met with Kenny Drugs, and everybody from New York seems to be very, very nice. They say
We
people from the South are nice, but I think people from New York are very, very nice.
Well, good. Not everybody says that, but we try to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you again. I really appreciate it, and you guys all stay safe out there.
You too.
All right.
Thank you for having me, and have a great day.
You too.